oh, I made the wrong choice. Well, no, because we're judging it based on the outcome. And if we do that, we're never going to rid ourselves of the anxiety that's preventing us from making decisions in the first place. And so I feel the same way about certain decisions in my life. I think I've gotten a lot better at it through the work that we've done, um, in spending so much time thinking about decision making. But I can resonate with that anxiety of I have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
Some people they don't battle with that demon of anxiety, and I do, and it can be paralyzing. But if I consistently look back at the things that I chose and judge them based on how they turned out for me, that's such a losing battle. The only thing I can do is I can look backwards at what I chose and say, did I choose that because I know who I am or not?
So it's funny, you talk about going backwards in time, especially with all these science fiction movies, especially with all the things going on in a Marvel universe. It's a big theme in a Star Trek series right now is going backwards in time and what decisions you made that set you down the certain paths. And there you go. So I have that. I do a lot of rethinking the past too.
Yeah, it's tough. All we got is right now. So I heard a quote this. I think it was today. I read, thinking about the past is depression, and thinking about the future is anxiety. Oh, what's going to happen tomorrow? I don't know. It's uncertain.
Who said that one? That's a good one. I want to steal that one.
I don't know. I don't know where I read that, but it might have been on man, I don't know, but it stuck with me.
Yeah.
I know that's not a helpful answer at all.
No, it's not, but it's a very helpful quote. And then, I think if you believe in missions, if you believe in coincidences and whatnot, I believe you guys were sent on a mission to find me, put me on a podcast, and give me that piece of advice today.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Sanger. What do you have to offer me, Sean?
Well, I'm just going to add. I don't have a special quote that I can pull out of the air like that, but I do think when it comes to decision making that you don't, as Sanger said, you don't determine the value of the decision making or the quality of the decision making based on the outcomes. Based on was it in alignment with your values, and you have the information you have at the time. That's what you got to go with. You may learn new information in the future, but I think you've just got to go to.
Yeah, that's my father's line too, is the call you made at the time is always the right call.
Yeah. That's what you got to do.
It's good. Thanks so much, Tom. I appreciate that my advice was valuable to you, but I learned a lot from you today. And I know that people who are listening definitely did too. So
listen, I learned a lot from you, Sanger, and I know I taught Sean quite a bit. So
yeah,
he could use it. He just started.
Guys.
Yeah. Right. Hey, thanks for being with us.
Hey,
Tom.
where can people find you one more time?
As if I haven't done the plugs enough. Tomkellyshow.com is the gateway to all things Tom Kelly. I have a podcast at Tom Kelly Show on your favorite podcast app and now on YouTube, even though that's kind of a pain in the ass. And I'm across the board on social media, and that's how Sean found me, as Tom Kelly Show. And if you can't handle and the podcast is short, let me tell everybody that too. 18-minute podcast, people. You can listen to me for one car ride and you get a sense of completion. People love me for my short length.
It's sort of different from what we've got going here, right?
Can't relate to that one.
Yeah, well, and you know what it is?
Was that another reason that woman broke up with you?
Yes. Yes, shorten stature. Shorten length and shorten stature, the Tom Kelly Show.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Good work.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
See ya.
My takeaways from our discussion with Tom is really a sort of a throwback to some of the things we've talked about in the past, which is when making decisions, look at who you are, look at what's important to you, and decide what your mission is. The other thing he said, which I liked, which was to keep moving. and make the decision, move forward. I liked that. So I really enjoyed the conversation with him, and those were my takeaways.
Yeah, my takeaway from the conversation with Tom was about that keep moving comment. You know, he and I kind of went back and forth, and there were parts of time while we were talking where maybe we weren't understanding each other exactly right. But this idea of keep moving, I think really what we mean is get up on your feet. Get up on your feet. Sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable. Sometimes it's going to be painful. Sometimes none of the available options that are in front of you seem attractive, but just keep going. And a good decision, that's a good decision.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Decidedly. I hope you learned something. I know I did. If you thought our show was 5-star worthy, please check us out on iTunes and give us a 5-star review. It really helps out a lot, helps people find our community and defeat bad decision making in their own lives. Check us out at decidedlypodcast.com and on Facebook and Instagram at decidedlypodcast. Until next time, I'm Sanger Smith with Sean Smith. This is Decidedly.
Insights, advice, and comments provided by Sean Smith, Sanger Smith, and speakers identified as part of the Decidedly podcast should not be considered recommendations. Speakers who are not identified as members of Decidedly are expressing their own opinion, and their statements should not be construed as reflecting the views of the Decidedly team. This podcast is produced solely for informational purposes, not personalized advice.